Dave's behind the camera. Welcome to another episode of NC Beer Buzz. We're at NC Beer Guys. We promote NC Craft Beer online at NCBeerGuys.com. Remember, drink local and keep your beer dollars in North Carolina. We're happy today to be in Banner Elk, and we're visiting with the folks at the Flat Top Brewery or Brewing Company. Brewing Company. And this is Nathan Paris, the founder, owner, head honcho, kind of the man.
That's right.
I'm letting him introduce his Paul back here in a minute. And he's asked us to come in. We wanted to come in and see what's going on, what's happened. We're relatively new here. How long we've had this set up?
We had our grand opening July 5th.
Okay.
We've been in build-out mode for about a year.
And had your beer out in the marketplace, testing pilot batches and that kind of thing?
We had done some festivals last summer and kind of got the feel for the market and what we needed to focus on in terms of flagships. We've kind of shifted gears on those a little bit, which Paul will probably get into when he gets a chance.
Okay.
But we actually put beer out to market before we opened, and it's done very well everywhere we've put it. So.
That's great. So that was encouragement to invest some time and money here. And it's done right. You can see a very nice taproom area, looking right through the wall, through the glass. You can see the nice brewery equipment. And we're right here on, what is the highway?
This is Highway 194.
So are we in the heart of Banner Elk? Not exactly. We're a little
we are in Banner Elk. Downtown is about a quarter of a mile down the road. This actually used to be downtown Banner Elk. This where we're sitting.
Okay, but the town kind of grew in another
town
way.
Went towards the college.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and get on the record. When can people come in and drink? What are the taproom hours?
Taproom hours right now are Tuesday through Thursday, 4 to 8, Friday, 4 to 10, Saturday, 2 to 10, and Sunday, 2 to 6. We're currently closed on Mondays.
Okay, sounds good. So if you get a chance to come in Banner Elk, make sure you check the guys out at Flat Top. So introduce your buddy here and tell us what we're doing behind the bar.
Okay, we have Paul Thompson, one of the members of our brewing collaborative. He's a recent graduate of Appalachian State University's fermentation science program with a focus in chemistry. And he, as well as Drew Gibson, is the other brewer. They're doing a fantastic job with bringing new beers to market and staying really good and clean, close to style as possible. And
is that the mission? That's the goal?
We are. We want to do clean to style beers. We will do some funky stuff. We'll experiment with some sours and things like that. But I'll let Paul kind of go into that with you.
So Paul, what is the system we're brewing over here?
It's a 20 barrel Creveller system. It's stainless steel, everything. Everything's steam jacketed. It's really nice, 20 barrels. Definitely a step up from my 3 barrel, what I was trained on.
Of course, that's right. And you don't have the fancy computer interface to play with here.
Not too much. There's one on the mash tun. You can do step mashes and everything.
Okay.
So, but not like
we saw it our retirements fancy interface, and we said, well, what happens when you get in the real world?
Yeah.
And they know how to brew in the real system.
Yeah. Got to be on call at all times.
Okay, that's good. So, what's the beers? Flagships?
Yeah. So our flagships right now are our IPA, our Black Rye IPA, and our Pale Ale. And as you know, Black Rye and Black IPAs don't have a style yet. Hopefully there will be one soon. But our IPA is more citrusy, floral based, more upfront. Our pale is more piney, resinous. And our Black Rye is just really roasty, but with a strong hop presence as well. Yeah, just everything is really nice and balanced. We hate having IPAs that are too dry and just have a strong malt backbone as opposed to just dry, like in your face hot bitterness.
And those are the flagships. And of those, what is the big seller, or is there something that gets more than most?
Our Black Rye everybody seems to be intrigued by the Black Rye more. Because just more flavors.
And it's a new and different, something they don't get everywhere else.
Right, that's right.
And that's always part of the appeal.
Exactly.
And other than the flagships, we're producing one-offs and small batches.
Right.
Is that where you come in with your creativity? Or?
Yeah, we're just always experimenting with new batches. We've been honing in our small scale stuff, like changing small things, just trying to get everything right to scale and everything.
But even after you get a set flagship lineup, you'll always have new and different and one small batch.
We'll have seasonals, and the other flagship we'll have is a Kolsch.
Okay.
Just a fantastic American style Kolsch.
People really like that these days.
Right, yeah, we love to offer things on either spectrum, not just pale, bitter IPA stuff. Want something more malt driven to appeal to everybody in the crowd.
And are we in a community that is real familiar with craft beer, or is there some education of the community as far as the drinking community? Are you still bringing them along from the more commercial national brands?
We are bringing them along, especially in the summer. We have a lot of Florida summer residents that come up. Some are familiar with craft beer, others are not. So,
But they come in the door wanting a Bud or Miller, and you have to
exactly.
kind of.
So we start them slow. We start them with a Cole Shore wit beer, and then
But
we
you don't have
step
guest
them up.
taps. They're all your beers here.
Currently, we have no guest taps. That's
Okay.
correct.
Maybe one point, or you,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right down the mountain in Boone, it's more of an IPA scene. All the students down there are really into their bitter, hop-forward things. So we're trying to appeal to them as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there is also some bringing the people along in the craft
Exactly.
beer movement here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So isn't it always important to have someone behind the bar that can talk beer?
Absolutely.
And we find that some places we go in that somebody pulls a tap, but you really can't converse about beer. And we think that's a deficit.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
We had our tasting room manager was Cicerone certified. He pursued another opportunity in Asheville. Sorry to see him go, but
Right.
we're trying to bring people in here that can talk beer, that know a lot about beer. Actually, we just hired one of Drew and Paul's classmates who's still in the program, and he's going to be working the tasting room and helping them with pilot batches and things like that.
That's
So
great.
we have educated people behind the bar here.
You're just new in this
Yes.
sense, in this location. What brought you to the craft beer movement? How did you wind up being here? What's your background?
I had homebrewed for about 5 years, like everyone else who starts in the industry.
Had a real job in the real world.
Actually, I was a stay-at-home father,
Okay. That's
which
the job.
which
All right,
led, which
all right.
led me to homebrewing.
Okay. You had some time, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And you had to drink away your worries.
That's right. That's right. And I've been in and out of the Banner Elk area for about 30 years now, and decided Banner Elk really needed a craft brewery, and I should be the guy to do it.
Great.
So.
And is it so far everything you expected, or more heartache than you thought, or how would you describe the experience in the short time so far?
It was definitely more than I expected.
To get to opening day?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's not an uncommon story.
Exactly.
Even though everybody hears it, they always think their experience is not going to be that rough.
And I was one of those people.
And your experience was just as rough as everybody else.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we're talking the permitting, the installation, the construction. What was the heartache?
Installation, construction, and before we even moved into the space, we were slated to go into a new incubator, a business incubator in town.
Okay.
And encountered some pushback from the county because it was a county-owned property. It was a former elementary school.
About the fact of having alcohol
Correct.
brewed on those county premises?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's 4 months of my life that I'll.
And that was back and
never
forth
get back.
trying to decide at some point whether you walked away or fought the
Yes,
system.
exactly. And if the town of Banner Elk had not been so supportive, I probably would have walked away. But they were behind me 100%. They've been kind of pushing me along.
But they also pushed you to a different site.
Correct.
In that sense.
Correct. Absolutely.
And then once you had this site, the challenge was
build out.
build out.
Getting the equipment. The Creveller system that we purchased was used.
And you obviously were planning to do it, you didn't do it like some people do, but just start so small and plan that they'll be in a constant expansion mode for
Correct.
the first few years, assuming they hit. You invested from the get-go, obviously. That was a conscious choice?
It was a conscious
Okay.
choice. I knew all along that I wanted to do at least a 15-barrel system, and that was the plan, was to do it by a new 15-barrel brew house. In the process of shopping around, we came across this 20-barrel used Creveller system, and right price, the equipment was in great shape, so we sprung on it. And
Because you plan to do more than just the brewery in Banner Elk.
Correct.
So let's talk about the broader, bigger plans. We're going to get Flat Top beer statewide.
Absolutely.
That's the goal. I guess.
That is the goal.
It's where now? Where do we drink Flat Top beer now other than here?
Boone, Banner Elk, Blowing Rock.
So kind of the local
So
accounts.
far, right.
Right.
And you
so far,
self-distribute, I guess.
correct. We're self-distributing so far. We are in Raleigh at World of Beer, North
Okay.
Hills.
But not the other world beers? Or?
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet. I was fortunate enough to know
You just had
Don
you
from
had
World
in there,
Beer. I
okay.
did,
Right.
and he's gracious enough to come pick up the kegs he needs and take them back down.
And if some of the bottle shop guys come in and pick up their growlers, you sometimes can see a flat top growler in some of the bottle shops out and about.
Right.
We've seen some.
Okay.
Where they've had to come get it, of
Sure.
course, and
Yeah.
some of the bottle shop guys are willing to do that, just to have something different that nobody else has to offer.
Correct.
So are you're self-distributing now?
We are
You already
talking to-
know you're going to jump to a distributor?
We are.
And you know who? Or not really say?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're kind of in between two with negotiations.
How soon is this going to happen? Are we talking about cans or bottles?
We'll start with the kegs. Cans will be the next item.
Okay.
We're going straight into cans.
Already got your canning line?
We have our canning line. We're working to get it operational, and once we get the next few batches through the system, we'll start phasing the 4 flagships
Right.
into
You got to know
cans.
what you want to put out before you put it out, obviously.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
But then the goal is statewide distribution.
Statewide, but really focusing on the triad, the triangle, and
The
and
metropolitan
Charlotte.
areas
Correct.
first, and the metropolitan areas east of Raleigh. You got to start somewhere.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So you'll probably sign with a distributor that tends to do local marketing, or will you go with a statewide distributor?
Statewide, but probably on a smaller scale than say an Empire
Right.
or H. Behringer or whoever. So we'll probably go with a smaller statewide distribution system, and we'll also be distributing over in Tennessee.
Okay.
Because we're 45 minutes from the border.
Now, we don't always hear that story. Is that a different challenge? I guess there's a whole different set of ABC rules in another state.
There are.
So if you're importing beer to another state or exporting it, however you look at it, is that more red tape?
There is some more red tape, but now that we've got the hang of how North Carolina does things, it makes going into another
So
state.
they don't do it like totally alien. It's just another process.
It's just another step, and it's just the main thing is just getting registered and getting the different beers registered, and then finding a distributor. You have to, before in other states, you have to have a distributor lined up so that state's ABC can contact them and say, hey, you are distributing Flat Top Brewing Company.
So they have to hold somebody responsible in that
Correct.
state, other than you, because you're not there.
Exactly.
Okay. So Paul's in an interesting situation, kind of being new to the business in that sense, but coming out of an academic background. So many people don't have the advantage of an academic background in fermentation sciences or brewing. They just come either from life experience or no experience and just jump right in. Is this everything you thought you'd be doing? Is this the opportunity you wanted coming out of school?
I'm so fortunate to be able to work in the industry that I've been studying, but I do have more of a chemical background. I approach things more biologically, chemically, and it comes in handy. Everything comes together here, like with biology and chemistry. And a lot of people view it as an art, but me and Drew certainly approach it here as more of a scientific.
Well, it's both. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it depends on who you are and what you bring to the table, but you also match the science and the art. The creativity is there, and that may just be built into the beer community itself.
But to be able to reproduce product and have a consistent product, you need to be able to record everything and know everything that's going on.
So very much a science.
Right.
Absolutely.
So anything we hadn't gotten on record, we need to talk about Flat Top? We're about ready to close this out.
No, just if you find Flat Top in your area, give it a shot. We've gotten fantastic feedback on our beer. And
Is
if
it
you're-
important to you to win medals and do competitions and be out there?
Yes.
And how do you do that? How do you we've seen you at some festivals, we know you get out and you've had your beer out, as you said.
Right. Drew and Paul are entering most of our beers into the NC Brewers Cup.
Okay.
That way we know where we stand because of the BJCP competition. And Paul can probably expand on that a little.
Yeah, a lot of the BJCP competitions offered this year have already passed, but the Brewers Cup is one of the last few ones of the year, and we hope to enter and do well over there. I know me and my buddy entered one last year. It won Best in Show, like all IPAs.
Great.
So we're pretty excited. Hopefully I can enter commercially and do just as well.
Very good. Thanks for having us in.
Glenn, thank you so much.
Great talking to you guys. And until next time, remember, this is the NC Beer Guys with another episode of NC Beer Buzz. And from Banner Elk, drink local and keep your beer dollars in North Carolina.